Right now, you're probably watching this from a place of pain. Maybe you're fresh out of a breakup, maybe your business crumbled, maybe you just got fired from your job. Good. I am serious. That is good. This is exactly where you need to be, because here's what nobody tells you about rock bottom. When your old life is completely shattered and everything went wrong, your identity becomes a blank canvas. And I'm about to show you exactly how I went from wearing a hazmat suit, scrubbing human shit off of a hoarder's walls while my bank account was negative, just to take my ex on a date, to making $25,000 a month. And I didn't heal, I didn't journal, I didn't do the work. I skipped straight to becoming someone else. Here's what actually happens when you lose everything. The cage you've been living in, your frame, your lens on reality, your this is who I am and this is what's possible for me, it shatters completely. And for about 90 days, you have this window where you can install any identity you want. After those 90 days, your ego rebuilds around whatever you've been living as. So most people waste this window in therapy, talking about their feelings, going to support groups, processing their trauma, and by the time they're done healing, their ego's already rebuilt around being a victim. But here's what I realized in that hoarder's house: failed business and negative bank account, covered in someone else's shit, being eaten alive by bugs, while this lady is describing to me how her designated pee piles keep the bugs away from her while she eats. Everyone tries to tweak their cage, make small adjustments, integrate their trauma. Nobody realizes that when the cage breaks, you can just walk out of the cage entirely and choose a completely different frame for how you see reality. So I did something insane. I chose a new frame for myself and my life. Complete conviction. I'm already a $25,000 a month business owner. Not I will be, not I'm becoming, I am. I am that fucking guy. And that identity became so real that contradictions didn't even register as noise. They literally did not exist in my world. That night after the hoarder house, still smelling like feces, I had two choices. I could do option A, what everybody recommends. I could process the trauma, I can journal, I can find a therapist, I can join a support group and heal for 6 to 12 months. Or option B, which is what I did. I decided I'm already making 25 grand a month and I'm acting accordingly. I use something called frame. Frame is your lens on reality. When your frame is strong enough, when you hold it with complete conviction, reality bends around it. It's complete conviction on who you are, how others see you, and how your life's gonna go. When you hold a frame like this, something crazy happens. Other people start unconsciously following your frame because it seems like the most realistic reality in the room. Your sense of how reality goes and who you are is so solid and set in conviction that people can literally see your frame as the most sensible thing to follow. You begin to dictate how your life goes. And this is why it's so important to install a new frame instead of just giving attention to trauma. Trauma is just a story about who you used to be. And when you're at rock bottom, you can either spend months analyzing that story, building a frame around all that pain and mistreatment you experienced, or you could take a new approach and have a new life. Choose a new frame starting right now. So that's exactly what I did. I made a new frame. The morning after cleaning the hoarder house with a negative bank account still smelling like shit, I sent proposals at 3 times my old rate to clients that I wanted. I introduced myself as the fucking guy who would help these businesses make more money. And here's the key, is I was not lying. In my frame, that's who I was. The bank account was reality just catching up. My mom called me delusional. My ex said I was bypassing my trauma, and they were right. I was bypassing it on purpose. I did not give a fuck. That was the frame I held. Client ghosted me. I couldn't even register it in my mind. In my frame, successful people get ghosted all the time. Friends said be realistic, and their frame was just not aligned with mine. I hung up mid-sentence while we were talking. Bank account showed negative, temporary. It was just a glitch that I was seeing on my account. Day one, I literally had negative cash in my bank account, and now I am making $25,000 a month and work 4 hours a week. And my new frame is I make $100,000. Here's exactly how you'll make your new frame instead of healing a dead version of yourself. The formula is stupid simple. Relentless intent plus freedom of outcome equals inevitable transformation. Relentless intent is holding such a conviction of who you are and how things go for you that anything or anyone that contradicts your frame or how you see things going won't even process in your head. You combine that with freedom of outcome, where you're not checking if it's true, you're not desperate for proof, you know who you are, so you do not need validation. This is exactly how you're gonna hijack your ego while it's crushed by a life change, and install a new frame when there's nothing left, and choose to frame reality through your eyes as the person who has an amazing life and as the person who is capable of anything. This is not positive thinking. This is frame control. The difference is positive thinking hopes reality would change. Frame control decided reality goes the way they choose it goes. Most people think they need to feel better before they can do better. That is backwards. You choose a frame, live it with zero evidence that it's working until reality has no choice but to reorganize around your conviction. People follow you because your frame is more certain than their doubt. When you do this, be aware of what you're saying, feeling, and thinking. When you're wanting success, you're signaling you don't have it. Your frame is, I'm somebody who wants. When you're knowing you're successful, wanting doesn't even make sense. You don't want what you already are and what you have. If you're at rock bottom, here is the exact protocol you're gonna follow right now. Step 1, your old cage is shattered. Good. Do not rebuild it. Do not repair it. Let it stay dead. Step 2, choose your new frame. Write it out if you have to. This is who I am, this is how I live, and this is how my life goes. Not goals, not desires. Frame. Step 3, hold your frame ruthlessly. Tomorrow, introduce yourself from this frame to everybody. Not, I'm trying to be. You are what you say you are. Step 4, make congruent moves to your frame. Live like it's already true. Do the things that are completely normal for your new frame. If you make 25 grand a month, pitch to high-level clients. Do that. Successful people do not explain themselves, so stop explaining yourself. Winners don't need permission. Stop asking people. Some people are going to get triggered and try to pull you into their limited frame. Be realistic. That's not how it works. Your response should be nothing. You don't even hear it. It's like somebody trying to convince you the sky is green. It doesn't register because in your frame, your sky is blue. Your reality is already fact. You have 90 days before your mind rebuilds the cage. You can rebuild the same prison with better furniture, or you can build a completely different reality in life. And if you've missed the 90-day window, you do this anyway. You might have more bumps, but you still have a choice and control and should rebuild a frame, one that you build from power, not pain, because what choice do you have other than doing that? The reality is everyone watching this will nod along, but 99% will go back to tweaking their old cage, trying to make their prison more comfortable, healing. 1% of people will actually use their shattered cage to install a completely different frame. So let me ask you, are you gonna spend the next year fixing your broken frame? Or are you gonna spend the next 90 days living from a completely different frame that will help you build a completely new and ideal life for yourself? My hazmat suit is burnt, the smell is gone, and my old frame is dead. What frame are you gonna install while your cage is shattered?